Part of the problem here is that there is a very effective propaganda campaign being run against Israel. The Albanese government is aiding and abetting it, so are some media outlets. Prime Minister, what do you say to the libels that Israel is deliberately starving Palestinian children and is conducting a genocide in Gaza?
Well, it's the same lies that were leveled at the Jewish people in the Middle Ages. They said that Jews were killing Christian children to use their blood. And this preceded a lot of massacres against the Jews, culminating in the worst massacre of them all in the Holocaust. So it's the same thing. It's repeating itself. Israel is starving Palestinian children. What lies? I mean, we brought in 2 million tons of food into Gaza since the beginning of the war. That's 1 ton of food per every man, woman, and child. Hamas has been stealing this food and selling the remainder at exorbitant prices to the Palestinian civilians they claim to represent. That's what's causing the shortage. And as far as killing deliberately civilians, I mean, Israel has sent millions and millions of text messages, phone calls to Palestinian civilians telling them, get out of harm's way. Hamas has implanted itself in your neighborhoods, in your schools, in your communities. Get out of harm's way so that we can shepherd you to safe places. And many did, but many didn't, not because they don't want to, but because Hamas shoots them if they try to get out of harm's way. So Israel is doing things that no army has done. No army has done in trying to avoid civilian casualties. Just remember the Allies going into France or then into Germany, and they go into the cities. You think they tell the population, please leave so we can come in? You know, they bomb through, they blaze the way. I'm not condemning them. I think, I'm not saying Churchill in any way was at fault or Eisenhower, but Israel is doing, I'm just stating a fact, Israel is doing what no other army has done. Not in Fallujah, not in Iraq, not in Afghanistan. The lengths that we go to protect the civilian population has been unheard of. Yet Israel is being vilified, just as in the Middle Ages. And those leaders and those media outlets who know better, should know better, should be ashamed of themselves for propagating this. But I'll tell you one more thing, Sharri.
Yes.
The Jews may have been defenseless in the face of these vilifications and lies in yesteryear, but not today. They may get away with pushing these lies against us, but we do not succumb on the battlefield. We roll back those who would exterminate us, those who rape our women, beat our men, and burn our babies, and we'll secure the peace. And when we win the peace, we'll win both wars. We will win both the propaganda war and the war on the ground and give a different future for the people of Gaza and for ourselves.
You have had a strong supporter in United States President Donald Trump. You mentioned that support a moment ago, both in terms of anti-Semitism, but also, of course, in the fight against Iran. You've also got a strong personal relationship with the president. Do you think he's dismayed or even horrified by the Australian government's hostility towards Israel, its voting record in recent years at the United Nations?
Well, it's certainly dismayed us, and I think he sort of said, what these countries say is irrelevant. And in the practical sense, he's right, because we're not going to commit suicide and put another Palestinian state right next to our doorstep in Tel Aviv or in Jerusalem, because that's the distances are tiny. Israel is like a fraction of 1%, I think, of Australia, just to give your viewers an understanding. It's a tiny country. And they want us to put in the middle of this tiny country another Palestinian state. Another, because we just had one, a de facto Palestinian state in Gaza. And what did the Palestinians do with it? Did they take care of their own people? Did they build up Gaza? No, they built it down into terror tunnels, for their terrorist monsters. And they openly declare their goal is, if you give them another opportunity, another state, they'll do it again. They'll kidnap people, they'll rape the women, they'll take the hostages, and they'll go to the extermination of Israel. That's their goal. So when Prime Minister Albanese and the leaders of France and Britain and others, when they say, oh, we'll give them a Palestinian state, they're actually rewarding terror. And they're saying, it doesn't matter what horrors you people do. It doesn't matter that you say that you'll go not only after Israel, but after the United States, death to Israel, America, death to the West. Last time I looked, Australia was part of the West, okay? Even though in the East, but it's our common Judeo-Christian civilization. They want to tear it down and destroy it. But it does matter, I think. In practical terms, no, it won't happen. But what will happen is you will encourage more and more and more of this radicalism in your own country, in your own church.
Absolutely.
And you will see this violence and this radicalism in your city, because if your leaders don't take a stand and they say, this is wrong, I know that what is being portrayed in the media is false, and I, as a leader, I take a stand, and I'm telling you, citizens of my country, take a stand against that too. If you don't do that, then the crocodile will get you in the end.
And that's what we're seeing at the moment. Prime Minister, I'm conscious of our time together. Look, when I saw you in your office about 10 months ago, you spoke to me about the threat of Iran, which you've since dealt with. You also spoke about your hopes for expanding the Abraham Accords, a return to the normalization deal with Saudi Arabia. Is this still your vision for peace in the region, for having a stable and peaceful Israel?
Very much so. I think, I believe in a simple idea. It's simple, but I think profound. It's called peace through strength. First comes the strength, then comes the peace. That's the rule in our part of the world, and I suspect also in your part of the world. If you're strong, you can make peace. If you're strong, you make allies. That's how it works. And Israel is strong. It's strong, yet fighting, with just means, a just war against tremendous vilification and lies. But we don't give up. And I think we're on the verge of completing this war, a 7-front war that includes Iran and its proxies. And when that happens, I think we'll have tremendous opportunities to expand the peace. I myself made, with President Trump, the Abraham Accords, 4 peace treaties with Arab states that hadn't been done for a quarter of a century. And I think after our victory, we're going to have plenty more.
There are reports tonight that Hamas is on the verge of accepting a deal for a ceasefire. Is this true? And do you still plan to take over Gaza and eliminate the terrorists if they do agree to a deal?
Well, we're going to do that anyway. That was never a question, that we're not going to leave Hamas there. I think President Trump put it best. He says Hamas has to disappear from Gaza. We can't leave these. It's like leaving the SS in Germany. You clear out most of Germany, but what? You leave out Berlin with the SS and the Nazi core there? Of course not. But I've said that this war could end today. It can end it if Hamas lays down its arms and releases the remaining 50 hostages, at least 20 of which are alive. And that's our goal, to get all the hostages out, to disarm Hamas, demilitarize Gaza, and give a different future for Gazans. And by the way, you'd be surprised, Sharri, I don't think this was true when I last met you, but it's true today. We have Gazans fighting Hamas, and they say, Prime Minister, don't stop. They're very brave. They fight Hamas. They say, free us from this Hamas tyranny. My goal is not to occupy Gaza, it's to free Gaza, free them from Hamas tyranny, free Israel and others from Hamas terrorism, give Gaza and Israel a different future. And I think we're close to doing it. It'll have to, of course, mean getting the last strongholds of Hamas. They shouldn't be there. Everybody understands that. Get rid of the crocodile.